Hi, my name is Samantha Kaawa, and I'm so thrilled you decided to join me today. For the simple fact that you're watching this video, I know that you are an empowered, independent, and high-achieving woman. You know what you want, and you not only go after your dreams, but you achieve every goal you set your mind to. You are no stranger to hard work, dedication, and success. Your strong will, outgoing personality, and willingness to be vulnerable allows you to connect with everyone you meet. And maybe the most important part of all is the spiritual journey you embarked on to master your intuition and realize your true potential and purpose in life. But the thing is, there's one area of your life that you haven't quite mastered yet. And if you're completely honest with yourself, you know that the challenge you're facing in this area is the one thing holding you back from your happily ever after. So here's the hard truth. No matter how much you achieve in your life, it really doesn't matter if you don't have someone to share it with. A partner who understands you from the inside out. Someone who supports your dreams and knows how to have fun. Your soulmate, your life partner, your best friend. Well, if you're wondering how I know so much about you, then let me share with you a short version of a much longer story. It was a little over 4 years ago when my life spiraled out of control in a matter of months. It was the Monday before my 8-hour comprehensive exam to graduate with my master's degree in marriage and family therapy. My husband called screaming for help after 750 pounds of metal came crashing down on his foot at work. I literally spent the rest of the week in the hospital praying that my husband would be able to walk. Luckily, he was discharged and sent home on Friday, which gave me a whole day to refocus on my exam. Sunday morning came, and as I was preparing to leave, my whole world collapsed beneath my feet. I found out that my husband had been hiding an addiction behind my back for the past 10 years. You might be thinking, he's either really good at lying or you just chose not to see it. Well, in many ways you're right, but that didn't stop me from feeling so betrayed and hurt, and from all the lying he did to cover up his double life. I was pissed and I was broken. The funny thing is, I knew it wasn't all his fault. I'd been in the personal development field for far too long to know that relationship challenges are never caused by only one partner. Over the next several months, I battled with myself on whether I wanted to stay or leave. I finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I knew that wherever I went, there I was. That if I left my marriage, I would still need to deal with my insecurities, my hurts of the past, my codependent behaviors. The one person I couldn't run away from was me. Right? So during that time, oh my gosh, I was in such a fog that I honestly don't remember exactly the moment that it all clicked for me. But what I do know is that I made a promise to myself to never, ever, ever again put my happiness in someone else's hands. And that regardless of the past, I was going to create my own future. I also decided that I was going to take control of my life once and for all. And I no longer was going to be a victim of my circumstances. I decided that I was going to work on myself and clear my side of the street before even considering leaving this relationship. I told myself that I wasn't afraid of being alone, but in retrospect, I was. I was afraid that I would scare away any good man that came my way. At that moment, I knew that I needed my husband to work through my relationship challenges. I knew that when I was with him, it was the only time that I felt like a crazy person. And I knew that he was the only one who could bring out a side of me that I still felt ashamed about and didn't want the world to see. So here I was, deciding to stay with the one person who drove me crazy and betrayed me so deeply. And at that point, I honestly didn't know if I was just completely going insane or was doing what was best for me and my family. Me and my 3 beautiful girls that I had with my husband at that time. Well, we still have 3 girls, but I couldn't tell what was best for them or me or anyone at that moment, but I knew that I had to decide for something. And what I did know was that I was going to come out the other side of this a completely different person. And once I set my mind to something, there is absolutely no turning back. So this was a certainty that I was going to change. So after I made these decisions for my life, things actually started to change for the better. I found support groups to help me get even clearer on what my part of the problem was. I dug deeper into my own therapy to process more of my underlying limiting beliefs that were created actually in my childhood. I realized that I had a fear of abandonment. Yes, I had a fear of abandonment, especially around men. And sure enough, I created another opportunity for that to happen once again in my marriage. I explored my spirituality and connected to my true source of power, which is within me. And one of the greatest gifts throughout this journey was realizing that I didn't lose trust in my husband. It was simply the fact that I never had it in the first place. It was never there in the first place. Not because I didn't want to trust him or because he did anything to lose my trust. It was because I never trusted myself in the first place. And what that really came down to was me not loving me, and me ultimately not feeling worthy of love. So as I look back on it all now, my growth came in phases. As I grew and expanded my awareness of my inner world, I eventually unlocked different parts of myself that allowed me to transcend my life into something I absolutely love. I'll be honest, my marriage took time to rebuild. It did, it truly did. There were really rough times, many of them, where we thought our marriage was done, it was over. But there was something in the both of us that knew, in fact, we weren't done learning from one another. So each time a challenge rose up in our relationship, instead of seeing it as a sign to separate, we chose to see it as an opportunity to grow closer to one another. Today, I am so happy to say that my husband and I are doing amazing. Although it's not perfect and we still have disagreements and make mistakes, our relationship has never been better. And he truly is my best friend. I'm so grateful for that life-changing day 4 years ago, because if it wasn't for my world being turned upside down and my relationship literally being shooken up, I don't know where either of us would be today. And let alone my girls, what impact it would have had on their lives. So I want you to know that I share my story with you, not to impress you, but really just to show you and share with you my process and how I was able to do what seemed at that time the absolute impossible. I also share my story with you to give you hope that if I can do it, so can you. Throughout my years of study, both personally and professionally, I have come to realize that there is, in fact, a formula to changing your relationship results, no matter what situation you may find yourself in. Yeah. And I believe it wholeheartedly. That's right. Yes, applying the principles I'm about to teach you, you will be destined for success in your love, life, and any relationship for that matter. I do want you to hear me when I say this. I am not an expert in your life. You are. You are the highest authority in your life, and in no way am I telling you that my way is the only way. What I'm saying, though, is that this was my process, and it has worked for me. It has also worked for and continues to work for many of my clients. So if anything I shared with you so far resonates with you, then I would encourage you to lean in, put your beginner's hat on, and find the gems that you are meant to receive today. So there are 3 things I want you to walk away from this video with today, okay? First and foremost, I want to support you in making a decision for yourself and your relationship. Secondly, I want to prepare you for the challenges ahead. No matter what you decide for your relationship, there will be challenges. And third, I will help you identify your next steps by sharing with you resources and options to support you in your journey. But before I support you in those 3 steps, I want to share with you my process and identify what stage of transformation you are currently in. So as you heard in my story, there was somewhat of a process of transformation that I went through in order to change my results in my relationship. And as much as I want to tell you that couples counseling or communication 101 is what you need, I know that you know that's not what I'm going to say, right? The process that absolutely changed my life and my relationship, honestly, is something that I like to call my empowerment journey. This journey of self-discovery that I embarked on, and what came out the other side was beyond my wildest dreams. So the very first step in this journey is called self-awareness, right? And what I mean by self-awareness is truly understanding first and foremost your place in this world. You see, I'm a strong believer that there is only one thing happening at all times. That one thing is infinite intelligence. No matter the circumstance, situation, or condition, everything that is happening right here, right now, is happening for the highest good of all, for everyone. Yep, that's right. Your current relationship, as painful as it might be, is for your highest good. And the only way to see the truth that I am speaking about right now is to go on an inner journey of self-discovery and become aware of yourself in relation to the world around you. Once you realize that there is no separation between you and everything that surrounds you, including your spouse, your perspective will begin to change. Self-awareness is the key to a higher elevation. And the higher you go, the farther you can see. I do want to add here that the result of self-awareness is empowerment. Right? You become empowered by owning your part in the problem and realizing that you can change your reality by simply changing you. The second step of this journey is self-love. Once you're able to identify your part of the problem, you can begin the process of learning how to love yourself. And I don't just mean taking care of your health or well-being by eating healthy, exercising, getting a massage, going to the movies, or even getting enough sleep at night. All of these things are important. And in order to truly transform your relationship, you actually need to dig much, much deeper. This type of self-love involves self-forgiveness, loving your shadows, learning how to embrace your flaws, and so much more. You might be saying right now, Sam, I've done all of that already. I know how to love myself. Well, I absolutely believe you. I believe that you've done this work. I know so. And I also believe your results. Because your results never lie. So if you're unsatisfied with your relationship, then I know that you have more self-love work to do. And that's okay. We all do. I'm certainly not done with my self-love journey. And as I continue to grow and expand, I anticipate that I will continue to learn deeper ways to love, accept, forgive, and embrace myself that I never experienced before. So, step 2 again, self-love. The third and final step of this journey is self-transformation. Yep, that's right, transformation of self. You hold the power to change anything in your reality by changing you. But more specifically, changing your thinking on a subconscious level. While embracing self-love, you already began this process of changing your internal dialogue. But now we need to step it up a notch and really command your mind. Many would call this part of the process self-leadership or self-discipline. And essentially that is what I'm talking about here. Because what comes next will be the most rigorous part of the entire process. As you know already, the most rewarding things in life never come easy. In fact, challenges are simply a call for higher learning and an opportunity to grow. So if growth in your relationship is what you've been asking for, then of course your relationship is going to be challenging. And it's going to challenge you right now. And the key here is to be able to choose how you would like to see your current reality and begin the process of transforming your relationship through self-transformation. Okay, I know you probably have lots of questions about what I just went over, but I kept this part brief on purpose. The more I explain, the more you will be caught up in the details, and in all honesty, that doesn't serve you. So for now, just write down your questions, and at the end of the video, I will share with you what you can do to get those questions answered. Okay, so here we go. As promised, I also want to share with you the phases of transformation that each of us go through. The first phase is what I like to call contemplation. This is when you're still unsure of what you want. More so, you are still contemplating on who you are. The second phase of transformation is preparation. This is when you start to do your research. It's also when most people embark on their spiritual journey to better understand the invisible world around them. You may be taking course after course to see what resonates with you to truly get a better understanding of yourself. And if you're anything like me, you have already spent years and years, if not over a decade, studying in the personal development field. The third and final phase is what I call the action phase. This is when you have done enough research and become sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's right. You realize that knowing about something isn't enough to change your results. Yeah, knowledge is only powerful when applied through action. And this is the only phase you will begin to see results in your life. I know this is not new information for you because you have been through these phases of transformation before. If you graduated from college, got a promotion at work, started a family, got married, began a health journey, or decided to quit your job, you have been through these stages of transformation. But the thing is, relationships tend to be the hardest area of life to transform because it requires you to become someone completely new. So let me ask you this. What stage of transformation do you feel like you are currently in? Are you in contemplation? Have you been in preparation? And if so, how long have you been preparing? Or are you already in the action stage? If you're watching this video, I truly believe you are likely on the cusp of preparation and ready to take action. I could be wrong, and again, you are your highest authority. So take a moment to sit with yourself. Be honest now, and claim what stage you are truly in right now. Well, no matter what stage of transformation you are currently in, the next part of this video will still provide massive value to you and your journey. So let's jump right in, shall we? Okay, so the very first thing I want to support you in today is making a decision for your relationship. This might be the single most important part of transforming your relationship results. Without making a decision, nothing will change. You will continue to stay in contemplation, and to be completely honest, this is where suffering lives and thrives. The only way to stop the challenges you are experiencing in your relationship right now is to make a firm decision. So let's do this together, right here, right now, okay? So here are a few questions I want you to answer honestly. You are the only one who will know the truth. So be honest with yourself in this process, okay? Okay, awesome. So what I want you to do right now is to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Bring your partner to the forefront of your mind. See your partner in the light of the very first time you met one another. The very first time you knew there was something more between the two of you. So tell me, What about your partner attracted you to them in the first place? In what way does your partner complement who you are? How are you the same? And how are you different? Tell me, what do you love to do with your partner? What are your common interests or hobbies? What tangible and intangible gifts has your partner given you that you will cherish for the rest of your life? And lastly, what do you love most about your partner? All right. So now that you've taken some time to remind yourself why you are in this relationship, right here and right now, I want to ask you this. Is there still love in your relationship? If you answered yes, then I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself the next few questions without overthinking your answer, okay? Are you ready? All right. Would you love to have trust and intimacy in your current relationship that allows you to be the very best version of yourself in all areas of your life? How about, would you love to be a loving, caring, and trusting partner that helps to bring out the best in them? And last but not least, would you love to finally work things out with your partner and live the happily ever after life you have always dreamed of? Yes, 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 and yes, right? I know you're saying yes right now. There is no way you would have found me if you didn't want these 3 things. So here's the thing. Making a decision is as simple as saying yes to yourself and your dream. So take a moment right now to decide to be 100% in your relationship for the next 90 days. That's right. I said only for the next 90 days. Can you do that? Can you be all in for 3 whole months? Well, if you're anything like me, you don't like to make promises you can't keep. So it's likely that you're right back on the fence again. Am I wrong? Or am I right? Well, here's the thing. I personally know that wherever you go, there you are. What the heck does that mean, Samantha? It means that all of the relationship challenges you're facing right now is likely going to follow you to the next one if you do not resolve them in the relationship you are currently in. Because guess what? Your partner is a perfect reflection of your limiting paradigm, your subconscious belief system about yourself, about your worthiness of receiving love. So if you don't change your paradigm, which begins with your thinking, you will continue to get the same or similar results no matter who your partner is. So let me ask you this. Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you ready to finally change your relationship results? And are you ready to do what it takes to live the life you would love? Yes? Well, then all you have to do is decide. Decide to clean up your side of the street. Do your work to be a better partner. Do your work to be more trusting. Do your work to be more loving. Decide that before you move on to the next relationship, you will face your demons, befriend your fears, and embrace your flaws. Can you do that? Can you do an experiment for the next 90 days? Let me ask you this. What do you have to lose? You already have been in this relationship for so long. What's another 90 days? Here's the thing. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. You need to get out of the cycle of insanity. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I am not saying to stay in an abusive relationship by any means, if that is what you feel you're in. And if so, I highly recommend you seek a therapist to support you through this process instead. Okay? But I know that if you are here watching this video, part of you knows that you are a part of the problem, or you wouldn't be trying to work on yourself right now. So make a decision right now to either be in your relationship for the next 90 days or take a 90-day break. Either way, just decide. Just decide. All right, let me get off my soapbox now. I'm pretty sure I burned it into your brain how important it is to make a decision. So whether you've decided or not, I'm deciding to move forward and teach you the second thing I wanted you to learn today. So as promised, I want to support you in navigating the challenges ahead, because either way, there will be some bumps along the road, no matter what decision you made. You see, the thing is, the 3 life skills that I'm going to share with you won't be new information for you. I know that because I know how successful you have been in all the other areas of your life. However, I do know that these are likely the 3 hardest skills to use in your relationship, especially after all the betrayal that you have felt, not only in this relationship, but in the history of your life. So I ask you to put on your beginner's hat again and remind yourself that if you had all 3 of these skills in your relationship, that you would likely not be experiencing the challenges you currently face. Okay, so the first skill that I want to share with you that you will need in order to see success in your relationship is commitment. And I'm not talking about the commitment to being faithful in your relationship. I mean committed to the process of being all in for the next 90 days. By committed, I also mean you have to believe in what's possible more than you believe in your excuses. Committed to owning your part of the problem and working on yourself first. Okay, so again, first skill, committed. The second skill you will need on this journey is to be open and willing to take an honest look at yourself. Right? You need to be open to shifting your mindset, even if it has served you up until now. There are things you'll need to change. You will also need to be willing to get uncomfortable in the interest of growth. If you are anything like me, this is an area of strength for you. However, let me remind you that this is your most shameful area of your life. This is the area that you hide from the world. Yeah, I know, because that was me. So there will be times when you won't like what you see. You won't like how you are acting and what comes through and comes up for you. But your openness and willingness to be vulnerable, trust in the process, and receive the support you need is so important. Okay? Got it? Okay. Openness and willingness to be vulnerable, to be willing to lean in to the discomfort. Okay, and finally, the third skill you will need on this journey is to be resourceful. As I mentioned earlier, there will be challenges, and that's the good news. And I know that you have all the resources you need if you are willing to see them. People say there's not enough time, or not enough energy, or not enough money. Those are just excuses people use so that they can let themselves off the hook and keep playing small. And those are just the major ones. There's some minor ones too that just come up left and right? But everyone is given the opportunity to solve every problem that comes their way. But it requires that they commit to finding a way despite the challenges. And that's what I mean by being resourceful. Resources are never the issue, right? But more importantly, I want to highlight that in your relationship right now, you may be really highlighting or focused on a lack of love, support, trust, intimacy, faithfulness, etc., right? The lack of what you're not feeling in your relationship. So when I say resourceful, I also mean in your relationship to see the resources that you do have. See the gifts that are coming from your partner. See that you have all that you need in your current relationship. It's there. As I said before, resources are never the issue. Hence, your partner is not the issue. I know, that was a bomb drop. Okay. I know. What, Sam? You're saying I'm the only problem in this relationship? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you think the problem exists outside of yourself, you will never be able to change it or transform it. Right? So if you resonate with what I just said, let's keep moving forward, okay? And if not, as I mentioned earlier, put your questions on hold and I will share with you how to get them answered at the end of this video. Okay, so my last and final promise to you today is to help you figure out what your next steps are. So let's make some magic happen right now, shall we? Okay, let's just make some magic happen. All right. One of the most life-changing tools that I have learned from my mentor, Mary Morrissey, is this. Despite fear, doubt, worry, any of that, simply decide to take massive, imperfect action in service of your dream. And the magic that happens is the path will be cleared one step at a time. You see, the most important step you can take is to decide for what you would love, but what follows your decision determines whether or not you will remain in your current conditions or accelerate into the life of your dreams. Okay? Let me repeat that. Let me just make sure you got that. The most important step you can take is to decide for what you would love. But what follows your decision determines whether or not you will remain in your current circumstances or conditions or accelerate into the life of your dreams. Okay? Yes, a decision has to be paired with one other thing in order to see the results you would love in your life. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about because you are no stranger to success. Yes, I know. Yes, it's action. I love what Tony Robbins says. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. So what does that mean, Sam? It means that you need to take action immediately after making a decision for your relationship in order to begin to move forward. So let's take a moment to identify what action step you can take in order to firmly decide for your relationship. Well, let's begin by talking about a few options that worked for me, okay? So first and foremost, one of the big aha moments I had on this journey was the simple fact that I could not do this alone. There were a few ways that I leaned into this realization. So the first way was to attend an Al-Anon meeting, where family members of alcoholics and addicts could go to receive support in their own healing journey. They do not discriminate what type of addiction your partner has, and what I found most helpful at these meetings was the kindness and compassion of the members, who truly, truly, truly understood what it felt like to feel so betrayed by the one person you love most. Another way I leaned into receiving support was continuing to go to therapy. And in fact, I actually had to change therapists in the middle of my dark night because I realized that he was not helping me. And in fact, in some ways, making things worse. Yep, that's right. All therapists are not created equal. Not just in skills, but their style and modality that they use to support you are all different as well. I realized that I needed a therapist to help me better understand my own feelings instead of intellectualizing everything that was happening in my marriage. The third way I leaned into support was embarking on a spiritual journey. I began to search for my high vibe tribe, is what I like to call them. I wanted to find a place where I belonged spiritually and energetically. And this was a way for me to begin to redefine who I was outside of my relationship. And last but certainly not least, I found a life coach. Someone who could help me achieve the results that I wanted in my life. Not because she was clinically trained to do so, but because she had the real life experience of overcoming a similar challenge as mine. So can you guess how many massive, imperfect action steps I took after making my decision to change my life so I could finally have the relationship of my dreams? Yeah, that's right. Many imperfect action steps. And sometimes multiple action steps at the same time. And I'm not saying that you have to take multiple steps at once, but what I am saying is to take an action step. Just take a step. It really doesn't matter which one. As long as you take a step, you will be divinely guided to the next, right? Whether it's going to a support group, finding a therapist, really going on a spiritual journey, or finding a life coach. Those are 4 great ways to lean into support on this journey. Okay, so these are 4 options for your next step. But before you choose, I want to extend an offer to you for sticking around. Many marketing experts would have told me to simply post the link within the first 3 minutes of this video, just in case someone wanted my services without watching the video first. Well, guess what? I'm more concerned about the quality of my clients than I am the quantity. What I do with love. And in fact, is quite an intimate process. I also want my clients to experience massive results in their life. And therefore, I am highly selective on who I work with to ensure that I'm the best fit for them, not just the other way around. Okay? So with that said, you made it through this entire video, which tells me you are not only committed, but you are ready. So here's my offer to you. I would love to jump on a call with you for what I call a breakthrough session. This session will help you gain clarity on where you are and where you would love to be. It will also serve as a consultation so I can better understand your situation and steer you in the right direction, even if it's not with me. And lastly, this session serves as an interview for those of you who are interested in working with me. As I mentioned earlier, I do not take everyone I speak with, especially if they're still in the contemplation or the beginning stage of preparation. The woman that I am looking for is the one who is ready and willing to take massive imperfect action. And if this is you, let your very next action step be scheduling your breakthrough session with me. Right here, right now. That's right. I want you to go do it right now. And guess what? This breakthrough session is completely free. It is my gift to you for taking the time to say yes to yourself, for deciding for your relationship and being willing and ready to take action. Okay, go ahead, do it right now. Click on the link that I've provided for you. And especially if you are longing and you're just fed up and you know that something needs to change right here, right now, click on that link. Okay. And if you've decided to say no at this time, I want to wish you well on your journey and hope you come back soon. I would love to see you at my next free mindset workshop where you can continue to do research and prepare for the action phase of your transformation. And as for my final promise, if you had any lingering questions that you want to ask me, and for some reason you aren't booking a breakthrough session, please email me and I will certainly get back to you as quickly as I can. I send you so much love and light on your journey, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Mahalo and aloha.